What's up, North County? I'm your host, Randy Doty, and we are talking with Tim Brehmer today with Sheep's Head Outfitters in Paso Robles. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been a while. We've been trying to get together for
a year.
Almost
right?
a year.
Literally
yeah.
for a year.
And was it Keith that connected us?
It was Keith. Yeah, Keith Swink.
Yeah, that connected us first. But I'm happy to finally be sitting here.
Yeah.
I watch all the videos. It's about time.
Yeah, it's better late than never.
Yeah.
Never. Yeah. So that's awesome. I'm glad you came on.
Yeah.
You're celebrating your 1 year anniversary this weekend. Congratulations.
1 year. I guess that's how we know it took 1 year. It was 1 year, February 3rd. But here I was trying to put it off to hope for better weather in March, and we're getting rained on. But tomorrow it looks good. So
yeah, you're good for the weekend.
Yeah.
No rain, not like today, but
yeah.
Weekend you'll be cloudy, but you'll be sunny too. So
it'll be a good party, and everything at Sheep's Head is always free of charge. It's just about bringing the community together to celebrate not just local business, but where we live and the people around us and all that stuff. So
awesome. Well, Tim, tell me about you. I mean, did you grow up here? You're born and raised?
Yeah, born and raised right here. I'm a Bearcat. Graduated from Paso High. I left shortly after graduation, like a lot of young people, but I didn't go to school. Went and did a little guiding up in the Idaho, Montana, Wyoming area. Fly fishing mostly at that point, and that while growing up in the outdoors, that's what really got me hooked. No pun intended. And from then on out, I've been an avid hunter, angler, outdoorsman, and kind of bounced around. Came back to California for a little while, and not really to SLO County, Northern California, Southern California, and then the better part of the last 15 years I've been in Central Texas.
Nice.
Yeah, it was, and doing a lot of hunting and fishing down there. There's a great community for that stuff, and lost my job a couple years ago, came back, decided, I didn't want to go back to corporate America, and Sheep's Head was kind of born out of that, and my love for the outdoors and hunting and angling and conservation, and decided what better place to do it than the town that gave me so much growing up.
Tim, how did you come up with Sheep's Head Outfitters? Where was that inspiration?
Oh, man, there was a long list, and that list became shorter, and then and I sent it to friends, and people voted on it, and then it was finally down to three big ones that I felt like I really liked, and I have a very dear friend of mine, and she said, you want it to be something that people are sitting around the dinner table going, oh, I got this hat at Sheep's Head, something that easy to remember, easy to say, but then if you come to Sheep's Head, you see that it's kind of different for a retail store, in that you kind of just want to hang out for a while, have a beer, sit by the fire. And
you got a beer and fire at the Sheep's Head?
If you ask, we might have some. Yeah, but there is a fireplace. You're always welcome to come and get warm.
No kidding.
And that to me felt like a pub, and Sheep's Head sounds like a pub.
Right.
And it's really, I want people to think of Sheep's Head as a communal place where you can come in, you can talk about hunting and fishing, or your backpacking trip, or you have questions, or you want to buy a hunting license or a fishing license, and then hang out for a while.
When you were growing up, we talk about fly fishing, and I want to tap into that, because it's a really unique sport, and it looks super hard.
Yeah.
And it looks like it takes a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And skill. So when you were a kid, did you fly fish when you were a kid?
I did. My stepdad, the man that raised me, he was an avid fly fisherman, and we took a family trip to Idaho. Gosh, I think I was probably 12 years old, and he handed me a fly rod, and I caught my first trout and never looked back. So I played with the conventional stuff when I was a young kid, but after that, it was really all about fly fishing for me. And it can be complicated, and we tend to overcomplicate it, but it is fairly simple. And I think, one of the things we're going to start doing at Sheep's Head is like intro to fly fishing classes, where you can sign up, come in, learn from me, learn from my friends that guide, do some casting lessons, maybe get your first rod and reel and stuff like that.
Do you think that's a dying sport?
No, I don't. I actually think there's a bit of a resurgence.
Really?
I think it's growing. Yeah. I think, back in 2020, people were looking for ways to get outside, and we saw the outdoor industry as a whole really take off. And I think fly fishing is accessible to a lot of people, whereas maybe hunting isn't. Maybe they don't like shooting guns, or maybe they just don't have a place to do it, or they don't understand how to get into it. Whereas like going out and fishing broadly is pretty accessible. You can go to the ocean, you can go to any lake or stream that's got fish in it. You can buy a fishing license. They got deals for kids, deals for veterans, deals for disabled folks. It's a lot more accessible. And then when you put in fly fishing, it's like, well, now this is something that, there's guys that are really into just bass fishing. And then there's guys that are just, they want to catch fish on flies. So,
but interestingly enough, so when you envision a fly fisherman, he's in a semi-shallow river, stream.
Freestone River,
right?
yeah.
But you're saying Nacimiento Lake, even the ocean fly fishing for marlin.
Heck yeah. Yeah, no, they guys are catching marlin on flies now, and they're not the flies that you're used to, that the little ones the size of your pinky nail that they're hooked on the side of the trout's mouth. They're big old flies. But if there's a fish, you can trick it into thinking that fly is food, right? And we have one of the greatest carp fisheries in North America right out at San Antonio Lake. And my good friend Dagger guides out there, and he's renowned for it. And the average carp out there is 10 pounds, and people are sitting there listening to this going, carp, come on, man.
But there's no edible sense for carp, right?
It depends on who you talk to, but
really?
Yeah, traditionally we're not eating carp. In Eastern Europe, carp is actually a Christmas tradition.
Really?
Yeah, but there's different species of carp out here in San Antonio. There's a lot of carp, and they're very challenging to catch. They're very fun once you get them hooked to land them. So, but yeah, anything from bluegill. I just got back from Puerto Rico. We were fishing for tarpon and bonefish and permit, and it's you can fly fish for barracuda.
Wow. You know what? You mentioned the classes and teaching fly fishing, and I think like the kids, because I always see kids taking off. Just here in town, they're heading off down to the river.
Yeah.
They're going down there and fishing underneath the bridge of the freeway, because it's been, pond there for, now the fish grow, and probably carp, probably some, bottom suckers.
Some bluegill.
Yeah, but I mean, they're going down there and fishing, but that would be a cool place to kind of, test your skills down there.
Absolutely. We also, one of the ways that we teach people a lot to when they're first learning to cast a fly rod, take them out to a big grassy field. So Barney Schwartz is a great spot when there's no soccer going on or something like that.
And they have a pond up there too.
They've got the pond up there, so you can kind of graduate up to the pond, right?
Yeah.
But it's a great spot, and you don't have a hook on there to begin with. You just tie a little piece of, pink fabric that you can see out there. And you just kind of learn, the timing and the rhythm and the, motions, and then you graduate up to the water, and you get that line to lay on the water right, and hopefully you catch something and bring it in.
Is it like roping? Is it like the wrist on the fly fish?
That's
too?
a good analogy. I think it's like roping in that there's probably some similar sort of like timing. You typically, when you're learning to cast a fly rod, you're not breaking your wrist, so it's almost like that rod becomes part of your arm as an extension of your arm. But you are sort of, as you do with that rope, you're feeling that line as it's out there in the air, and where it is, and when the timing of when to let that line fly.
When you're fly fishing, is it a long day, or is it like, are they striking pretty quickly?
Depends on where you are, man. I've gone days without touching a fish, and then I've gone days where every single cast I'm catching a fish. And there's a lot of, you sort of become, and it's the same way with hunting, but you sort of become this amateur biologist where you're like, what are the fish eating?
What time are they eating?
What time are they eating?
Which is when? What is there a myth to that?
They're eating, it depends on the species. It depends on the body of water. It depends on what bugs have hatched, what larvae are in the water, what time of year it is. So that's what I mean. You kind of learn to study these animals and figure out their patterns and their diet and things like that. And then you find flies that might represent that. And same with if you're watching hogs, and they're creatures of habit too, and they're going to go to the same place, and when it rains they're going to go somewhere else, and you're going to know where they are because you've been watching them and studying them and being an amateur biologist.
Interesting. And you were saying, as far as like a traditional fishing rod, it's like that's not your forte.
Yeah, you're speaking French. Like you'd have to show me. You'd have to really kind of instruct me on how to use a conventional rod and reel. And people often ask why I don't carry, that sort of stuff. Jim's Pro Bass does. They're great. They're right down the road. I'm always sending people down there. They're always sending people up to me for fly fishing gear. I let those guys handle that because they're experts at that. I know what I'm talking about. I don't want to sell something I can't tell you about,
Right.
So
Tim, tell me. I like the story that how you got your shop. Tell me that story again.
Yeah, I will. I had moved home back to Paso Robles, and I hadn't planned on staying, to be honest. I was going to get back on my feet after losing my job and open this business maybe somewhere else, maybe in the Tahoe area, somewhere a little more, outdoor oriented, if you will. In hindsight, that was a silly notion. And so I thought, you know what? I don't know anything about commercial real estate. So if I'm going to go out on this venture, I have to educate myself. So I got online and looked at like commercial properties that were open in the area. I said, oh, this one looks cool. Looks like it could be retail. This will be good experience. So I filled out the little form that they had there online to go view the property. And I was just, purely out to waste some poor realtor's time or something. And get in there, or I send the text, the message online, and I get a text message back, and it says, Tim Brehmer, when did you move back to town? I don't know this number. And it's, I said, who is this? And he said, this is Paul Euler. And Paul and I grew up together. Paul was a little older than me in school. Paul married my classmate and sixth grade girlfriend. I've known him and his family and her family since we were little kids, 13 years old. And he said, that's my family's building that you requested to look at. And he said, do you want to look at it? And I said, sure, let's go look at it. And, kind of still hadn't, didn't tell Paul, hey, I'm just browsing. Got in there and thought, man, this is literally exactly like, this is perfect.
How you envisioned it.
It was like this building was built for me. The fireplace, the kind of southwestern motif, the, exposed wood, everything, the shape, the fact that Paul would be my landlord. And I said, man, it's great, Paul, but like, I need 6 months, man. I can't afford this right now. This is all my life savings I'm putting into this deal, right? And he said, we'll help you. And they did, and
awesome.
And that's the beauty of community and small town, and which is what Sheepshead is all about. So it started right there.
And real quick, since we're on that, where exactly are you located?
16th and Spring. So Lubengo, Bank of America, and American Riviera Bank are my neighbors at the corners there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of right there in the middle of town, going
Right,
towards
yeah.
The south end.
Kind of halfway between the
north end.
Market Walk and the downtown park.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. So Tim, tell me some of the other stuff that you guys carry there in Sheepshead.
Yeah, so obviously we do men's and women's clothing, both like casual for, you want to go, this shirt, if you want to go out to dinner, I got stuff for you. But if you want to go chase elk around the Rocky Mountains, we got technical apparel for you too. We do, Yeti coolers, drinkware, things like that, game bags, turkey calls, elk calls, sleeping bags, air mattresses, tents. Gosh, man, I'm like visualizing the stores as we go through, but we're actually expanding too. That's something I haven't brought up. That new space will be open tomorrow, so I've got a lot of work ahead of me today. But yeah, again, Paul approached me and said, hey, we've got this vacancy in Unit B. We had talked about it. Do you want to take it over? And there's never a perfect time. So I took the leap of faith. And so we're expanding into that area. It's going to be sort of a lounge, showroom type thing. We're going to feature some really like premium products in there.
Oh, nice.
And that, that's something I need to mention too, is a small business, independent, and a lot of these really, really wonderful companies, Filson, Stone Glacier, Duck Camp, Howler Brothers, Orvis, they took a chance on a small independent business. And so that's great to see that those companies are still looking to support the little guy too,
Awesome. How's your first year been? Was it a little rough getting it going, getting the ball kind of moving forward?
Absolutely. I would be lying if I said anything else. I had a lot of ups and downs, both, personally and professionally. My stepdad that we talked about earlier passed away in August.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that was, but he's
He
the
was
one that
your
taught me
inspiration.
yeah, absolutely.
Right?
As you walk in the door, there's a picture of him duck hunting right
Awesome.
on the wall. So, but outside of that, the community has been so supportive. Whether or not they hunt, fish, or spend any time outdoors, they come in. If they can't afford, a nice Stone Glacier jacket, they buy a koozie or a pair of socks, and every little bit helps. And I can't say enough about how thankful I am that the community has really just supported me from day one and continue to. Our party tomorrow is sold out, 250 people. So and it's really, really touching, and I'm actually pretty humbled by it.
Well, we live, and you don't think that. You always think of wine. You think
You
of,
do, yeah.
you think when you think Paso Robles or the North County, people that are from the North County understand I don't consider us like wine, Napa. You know what I'm saying? I
right.
consider us Western and rural and, cowboys and cowgirls type thing.
Yeah.
And so there's really a lot of, and those wine owners, those winemakers, these guys are also avid outdoorsmen as well.
Yeah.
So they're fly fishing, they're hunting, they're, utilizing, your store and your products.
Yeah, I mean, who's spending more time outside than a farmer or a rancher?
Yeah.
And that's what I do. I don't just cater to somebody that wants to go shoot a pig or catch a fish. It's, if you're working in the garden, if you're in the vineyard, if you're on horseback, like there's, rain gear is a good topic today that I can get you, keep you dry, keep you comfortable. Austin Hope is a great customer and an avid fisherman, and so there's a lot more crossover than we tend to think. Outdoors is the outdoors, and there's a lot of people that enjoy pursuits of the outdoors, but a lot of people that just spend time outdoors too.
Tim, how do you counter sometimes your negative thoughts? And as we all track down this business path, we're like, okay, gung ho, and then some days you wake up, you might not have had a good couple of days. You're like, what am I doing? How do you counter that?
It truly is. I would say there's two things. One is the customers, the community, Paso Robles, the North County, Central Coast. Like, we live in a beautiful place. That is therapeutic in its own self, when you wake up on the wrong side of the bed. And then, the other thing is, like, I'm doing what I love. I'm truly, like, I love getting people outdoors. I love building communities. I love building things in general. And that's, as any of us know, that's, if you're a small business owner in a new business, you're building 24/7. And to me, that is a great passion. And all the negatives, all the bad days, all the slow sales days, those kind of take a back seat when you start building something like really beautiful that you love.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's business is a roller coaster. It's up, it's down, and you guys kind of find that medium right there in the middle, plateau, because you'll go up, have a low. You're like, oh, I'm starting to question myself, but at the end of the day, you're doing what you do, you're loving what you're loving, and it's work is not work because you're going and. Now, are you open 6 days or 7 days?
7 days a week.
Wow.
I've got a young guy, Dylan, that works with me, and Dylan covers me 2 or 3 days a week, so I have some bit of a time to get laundry done and fill my truck up with gas and maybe get out and fish or hunt a little bit, but yeah.
Tim, tell me, okay, so we live, we've got Nacimiento, we've got San Antonio, we've got, let's see, Lopez, you got Cachuma. I mean, we've got so many bodies of water in this area. Are they all fly fishable?
That to me, yes.
So, like, would you go down to Atascadero Lake?
Yeah.
Have you done that?
I know plenty of people that have.
Now, would you wade out in the water? Or would you just do it from the bank?
As far as Atascadero is concerned, I'd probably, if I had some waders on, I might get in the water, but there are certain bodies of water that you can't touch the water either.
Like that's the policy?
Yeah, because it's water.
Like Cachuma.
Correct.
Right.
Right. And so
And probably Margarita.
Margarita as well too, and I think Whale Rock as well is the same way.
Oh, Whale Rock, yes. Gosh, that is a wicked lake.
Yeah,
They got some big boys in there.
Yeah, and supposedly, and I haven't caught any, but I think I heard there's steelhead in there.
Yeah.
So
my buddy runs that lake.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the maintenance guy. He's the
cool.
sole guy out there.
Yeah, sure.
That's his job, right? And they don't have any boats. He has a boat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, Ed, take me out on the boat. He's
Get
like,
me to those hard to reach spots.
yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could walk around the whole lake.
Sure. Yeah.
But there is some steelhead in there.
Yeah.
Big ones.
I've heard that. Yeah. I know people that have caught them. I haven't done it, but no. Really, if it's a body of water, Pacific Ocean included, you can throw a fly in there and see what you might. I've seen guys like fly fishing drainage culverts and all kinds of different stuff. So.
What's your favorite fish to fish for?
Ooh, man, I do love carp. I love trout. Having now experienced redfish is fun, but now having experienced the tarpon and the permit and the bonefish down there in Puerto Rico, which is an amazing fishery if anyone's interested, it's a whole different challenge. And I didn't even catch like a permit. I couldn't barely get one to chase the fly, but it's like, that's not what it's not necessarily about the grip and grin. It's like figuring out what that fish wants and giving it to him,
Now, would you, do you catch or do you fish for the sport of it? Do you fish for the, fish fry?
All of the above, but I think if I had to narrow hunting and fishing down, I would just say to be outside. I just love being outside. Like a bad day outside is way better than a day in front of the computer. And no offense to anybody that spends their days in front of the computer. I did it for a long time, but I would, if I can be outside and never even get a bite, never even see an animal, that's a good day to me.
At your store at Sheep's Head, do you go into like seasons with different like products and stuff like that? Like,
yeah.
Like this is all seasonal. Tell me something about that.
Yeah, so we're headed into turkey season. So just yesterday I got restocked on turkey calls and things like that, and getting some good camouflage in because those birds have pretty good sight. And then as we head into the warmer months and fishing picks up, we'll restock on flies and make sure all the fishing gear's there. And then as fall kind of makes its way and people are getting ready to plan their hunting seasons, be it in California or the Western U.S. or wherever, you'll see elk calls come in the store. You'll see more rain gear, heavier insulation. So just as the seasons go, spring, summer, fall, winter, there's certain outdoor pursuits that happen in those seasons too that we try to accommodate people. And you're not going to see a lot of like upland bird hunting vests or belts right now. But come August, we restock on that type of stuff because people, they're getting ready to go dove hunting or quail hunting, and then duck season happens, and you'll see more stuff geared towards that as well. So.
And I know you said that Sheep's Head doesn't kind of get into the gun stuff, but what about ammo or any of that kind of stuff?
Nope, leave it all to the pros there at Bridges and Roosters and Uncle Ed's. Those guys are great and knowledgeable and been at it for a long time, and we definitely work in partnership. And I send people down there and they send people up to me, and I definitely try to complement what they're doing, start where they leave off. So,
because you have a unique, like you just mentioned those other businesses, which are all kind of similar, guns, but yours is different. Yours is an outfitter, but different because like you said, you pick up where the others stop. Yeah,
and that's obviously by design. I want to sell things that no one else in the area is selling, and a lot of the brands that I carry are very high quality and they don't come cheap. And but buy once, cry once, as they say. And so a lot of the things that I'm selling are for people that they may go buy a rifle at Roosters and be ready to go on their first deer hunt. But they don't have a good rain jacket, or they don't have a shell to keep them warm and comfortable, or a good pair of socks or something like that. And that's where I'll pick up where they've left off with the guns and ammo.
Now, some of the brands that you carry, do they give you more of an exclusive or some sort of territory?
It's funny. I was thinking about that on the way here today. No, I think there's a few. They don't want over distribution of their product.
Right.
And so as far as the brands that I carry and them being available in other places in the area, they aren't really, and that's by design. But I don't get, any sort of deals or breaks. In fact, it's probably worse for me or harder for me as a small business than the big guys.
Right.
Because they're buying in that bulk. So think about that when you go buy online or go to the big box store. Those guys are getting it cheaper. They're making more money. They're getting richer. And I'm just trying to, feed my dog. So.
Well, that's the push. And, here at What's Up North County is local business.
Right. Yeah.
It's support your local, support local to buy and buy local to support local.
Sure.
And not always are you going to be the cheapest,
Right.
But at the end of the day, if that local person, the guys watching here, give you the shot to earn their business, you might pay a couple dollars more, but at the end of the day, you're supporting that local business, that local person,
right.
and, your money goes back into the community, versus Amazon. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't see any Amazon, banners up around the football field.
Right. And, even the pricing is fairly regulated in these industries nowadays. So more often than not, you're not getting it much cheaper elsewhere. And in fact, you're not paying shipping with me. So you're coming to the store and walking out with it that day, which is kind of a nice thing. And, a lot of the products I sell are fairly expensive. Wouldn't you rather come try that on first? Wouldn't you rather wear that backpack around the store, before you spend $600-700 on it?
But the difference also too is with that local business walking into like I said, Sheep's Head, to where you're conversing, you're not necessarily selling it to them, you're answering ththose questions. You're getting that touch, feel, look, opportunity, and they're kind of tapping into your knowledge. Fly fishing or
right.
Whatever it may be. So you get something by dealing with a local small business that you wouldn't get at Big Five. Everybody has bought something from Big Five and they don't know anything, or even there, to be like, you're like, hey,
right.
Somebody.
Well, and as I said earlier, I don't sell things I don't know about. We've all gone into Home Depot and been like, hey, can you tell me about this? And they're like, man, I've never seen that in my life. I worked here 3 years. But that's not how it is, at Sheep's Head. Our reps are great about coming through and educating us on the product. I use everything in my store that I carry. I want you to be happy, and if I can't provide you with that product because maybe I don't carry it or maybe you need something else, I will send you to the right place to get it. I'm not beyond that. I want you to feel as though even if you didn't buy something that day, you're still getting that small town community local service that, quite honestly is dwindled in years.
I agree 100%, but it's nice to see, small business around here and locals, taking pride in what they're doing and, not so much be after the sale, but be after the customer service, because customer service has really lost a lot of ground over the years.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because of COVID. I don't know,
Technology
probably.
Yeah.
But when you go into a store, I can name off a bunch of different places that, customer service, I don't care how much the thing is,
right.
I'm going to buy it,
right.
Because I like that person. I like that customer service that I receive,
right.
So Tim, again, tell us again your hours. Monday through, 7 days a week.
7 days a week. Monday through Saturday is 11 to 6.
Okay.
And then Sundays 11 to 3. And don't be upset if there's a note on the door. It's a small business. I sit on the board for the Chamber of Commerce in Paso Templeton as well.
Okay.
So I might have to take off for an event or a meeting or something like that, and go to my nephew's baseball game. So we might close 30 minutes early here and there, but that's the beauty of small town is come back the next day and we'll take good care of you.
And you're celebrating your 1 year anniversary tomorrow.
1 year tomorrow. It's going to be a good time. We got live music. We got Yabba Dabba Dogs is going to be out front. The Hat Bar, Caitlin Caney is coming up from South County to support. And that's another beautiful thing about small businesses, all the other small businesses that support you. to get you to lift you up and make you successful too. So
Now, will you have some reps there tomorrow too?
there may be a couple floating around, but you know what there will be? Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation is setting up a table. National Wild Turkey Federation is setting up a table. They've got their banquets coming up. My store is 2% for conservation. So what that means is I give 2% of everything I make back to conservation efforts, be it public land access or elk habitat or turkey research. And so that's been a pillar from day one. So I always invite those groups to come and spread their word and educate people on what they do and how they're helping in conservation efforts.
But tomorrow's sold out.
It is. You can show up, and depending on like the capacity at the door and who's around, probably the earlier you show up, the better chance of maybe getting in and having a beer, a glass of wine, or a hot dog or something. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, Tim, thanks so much, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you coming on, and congratulations on your first year
I appreciate
at Sheep's Head Outfitters there in Paso Robles.
Yeah.
So once again, tell us how people find you. Do you have a website?
Sheepsheadoutfitters.com. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, Sheepshead Outfitters, 1602 Spring Street. Just swing on by, hang out, and we won't ask you for a tip either. So it's the best customer service.
Well, hey, we have to get out there. I want to learn how to fly fish.
We'll take
because
care
that again, it looks very intriguing. It looks very difficult, but you say it's not.
We'll simplify it for you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, and congratulations on your 1 year.
Thanks for having me. Love what you guys are doing here.
Thank you. Well, there you have it, guys. Hey, make sure if you guys need Tim's services, get down there to Sheep's Heads in Paso Robles. He's open 7 days a week. Local business, local guy, support local, buy local, guys. But as always, we can't do this without you and our sponsors. We'd like to thank Escalar Wine Travelers Hideaway, Visit Atascadero, 805 Customs, MGP Coatings, North County Junk Removal, The Trailer Barn, Story Termite Pest Control, Borhone Auto Center, Kennedy Club Fitness, Airflow Filter Services, and Suprema Meat Markets. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Dave Story, small game hunter with Story Termite and Pest. We're a full-service termite and pest control company. From rodents to termites, we can take care of all your pest control needs. Call today. We can tailor a pest control program that will meet your needs and budget. Contact us at 805-460-0650 or at storytermite.com. Remember, we don't have customers, we have friends.
Hi, it's Alex with Suprema Meat Market. We are a Mexican meat market with a taqueria. Come enjoy our high-quality cuts and meats. We offer choice and prime Harris Ranch beef, as well as chicken, seafood, and pork items. In the taqueria, all of our tacos come with handmade tortillas. We also offer specialty items like chilaquiles and chile rellenos. Come enjoy Taco Tuesday with Suprema. We offer our tacos at $1.99 each. Suprema Meat Market is located at 8950 Montecito Avenue in Atascadero.
Are you tired of looking at that worn-out concrete garage floor, patio, or porch? Look no further than MGP Coatings, where customer service reigns supreme. Our team goes above and beyond to ensure your satisfaction every step of the way. Before we even start coating, we meticulously repair your concrete, ensuring a flawless finish that lasts. And here's the best part. Our Pentec coatings are 4 times stronger than epoxy, so they won't chip or peel, making maintenance a breeze. Plus, they come with a limited lifetime warranty. Call us today at 805-952-5301 or check out our Facebook and Instagram and experience the MGP coating difference. Don't wait. Transform your garage, patio, porch, or driveway and become a part of the MGP coating family.
What's up, North County? This is Teresa Branch with Airflow Filter Service. We are a family-owned business right here in the North County. We have air filters, oils and lubricants, and hydraulic hoses. We provide services that include air filter cleaning, DPF cleaning, and waste oil collection. Come check us out at 1140 Ramada Drive, and we can help you with all your automotive and industrial vehicle needs.
Hi, this is Omid
and Deanna
at North County Junk Removal. We are a business known for helping our neighbors and our community.
Let us help you save money and get rid of any unwanted items.
And rest assured that our professional team adheres to global standards of safety and recycling. We are fully licensed and insured for your peace of mind.
We are locally owned and operated, and we look forward to helping you with all your junk removal needs.
please call us at 805-769-6966.
Atascadero isn't your standard getaway. We're unique, just like you. We're growing, transforming, and figuring it out as we go. We're a town filled with innovators, artists, makers, and game changers. We're a little bit country, a little bit funky, and always authentic. We're here for your good times, your slow times, and your changing times. We are all in Atascadero. Come see for yourself. Learn more at visitatascadero.com.
3, 2,